Hey, howdy, hi everyone. I'm just gonna drop a quick video here on you. I just watched the 2 new episodes of Vince Gilligan's new show, Pluribus, on Apple TV at the moment, and just wanted to get some of my initial thoughts out there. First of all, as you could probably tell by the title and thumbnail of this video, it's amazing, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it 100%. I'm so happy to finally get more just anything from this creative team: Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, Dave Porter back on the soundtrack. It's so amazing to see these people back and making television again, and I hope that they never stop. I know, like, obviously that's an unrealistic expectation to have, but if these people just kept making TV, I'm just gonna keep watching it because it's like such a consistent high quality. It's so fascinating to me how this team of people can come back and make something that's so widely different from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, mostly in terms of its genre, and still have it be as entertaining, as engaging, as intriguing, as well acted, as well directed, as well shot, as well color graded, as well choreographed. Everything about it is just so consistent from these team of people. I could not praise this team enough and what they do. I don't want to get into it too much in terms of the spoilers. I just want to get this a quick thoughts of, like, yeah, there's a lot that's going on in this show, and I think it can feel overwhelming initially. There's a lot of, I guess, scientific, medical jargon that's thrown at you in the first, say, 10 or so minutes, and if you're watching this and you haven't seen it yet, don't be put off by that. It massively tones down afterwards, and it is just becomes a story like that you can follow quite easily. And even, to be honest, I think when it is quite jargon heavy and technical, you don't really need to follow the details of it. Those aren't all that important. The broad strokes are still pretty clear, pretty evident to follow. Yeah, but when it does pick up in terms of story, you are just in hook, line, and sinker. It is really, really engaging, really interesting. I love Vince Gilligan bringing his X-Files, like sci-fi, bizarre concepts, writing into the drama sphere that he's gotten with, well, not that X-Files isn't drama, but like he's combining those two genres, I suppose, into one and making it its own thing. Like, I've never seen, there's plenty of weird sci-fi shows out there with these similar, I guess, kind of concepts, so I have seen things like it, I guess, before, but executed in this way, with his stylings put over it, I have not seen before, and it is an absolute joy so far to sit through. Everything about it is just like, I can't fault it. I can't even think in a general sense. There's nothing stood out to me. I was like, oh, that was a bit weird, or that was kind of awkward. Everything about this show has been as intriguing and as engaging as I could possibly hope for any show to be. It has got such a strong pilot, such a gripping concept, that, yeah, once you're locked in with this show, it's really, I'm so fascinated and intrigued on where it's going to go. It really ties theme together extremely well without being very on the nose. It's subtle, but it's also extreme at the same time, because, like, on a concept level, this show is very high, and it's throwing a lot at you, and like, in terms of scale, this show really goes into a lot more than I think you would expect going into it. It is not a small scale story at all whatsoever. Like, if you look at something like Breaking Bad, it is very contained within the people that you see on screen. It doesn't really go beyond their world very much. And when it does, it's still quite contained. And for good reason. It's like, you don't really want to go too far in a story like that in terms of the greater world, because it can break a lot easier. Once you keep it more contained, it's much easier to stay locked in and stay consistent with the realism that show went for. But here, it's really fascinating to me how much they break outside of that containment of just the characters we follow, because there aren't a lot of characters that we follow in this, and the trajectory of their arc and their motivation and their goals, it's obvious in a literal, matter-of-fact way of, like, what they want, but it's not obvious in terms of a personality, in terms of an overcoming. Like, if you look at Walter White from Breaking Bad, it's like, okay, he's very emasculated and he wants to take some level of control or power back in his life. Here, it's not as clear cut. We have a character that's clearly dissatisfied with life despite being quite successful. And that's kind of the basic premise of her setup in this. And she is put in a wildly bizarre circumstance that I don't want to get into too deep. I want people to go out and see this if they haven't already. And I know if you have seen this, you're probably sitting there thinking, oh, like, why doesn't he just... I wanted to talk about it and get his thoughts. But yeah, I won't. In future, I might make a more detailed video. This is just... Clearly, this is off the cuff. This isn't scripted or rehearsed at all. I literally just watched these episodes like 10, 20 minutes ago. This is a really rough... just sit down recording. I'm not going to edit this much. I'm not going to do much overlay or whatever. It's just... I'm probably just going to run the trailer or something in a loop over while I talk. But yeah, if you haven't watched these first 2 episodes, go see them. If you have seen them, let me know what you think. I absolutely, for one, really like what they've been doing with this so far, and I can't wait to see where they go with it next week. If you want me to talk about spoilers more in depth and just go into more detail about what happens, specifics, let me know as well. But for now, I just wanted to get my thoughts initially out there. Yeah, amazing cinematography, amazing acting, really interesting premise, really great soundtrack from Dave Porter, both his own music and also the I suppose like his choice of songs like to put in scenes as well, as was the case in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, was and is fantastic. He has such a wide selection of just music library in his brain to pull from. It's wild listening to the Breaking Bad OST, or not OST, but like the Breaking Bad soundtrack, and just hear the mix of different genres in music that he puts in to both Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And it's here too, like the diversity and how eclectic his music taste is. It is such a service to like listening to any show that he is involved in to any degree. But yeah, really worth a watch, really high quality. Whether or not I would say it's as good as Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, I'd need to watch more episodes to determine that so far. But like, I will say the level of engagement, like how locked in I am and how addictive this show feels, already is at a similar level to those 2 shows. 100%. So yeah, watch the show if you haven't. If you have, let me know what you think. I already said that, but I'm saying it again because I'm not used to this. And yeah, see ya.